FHA SFR Appraising Handbook 4000.1, page 26. 2. Origination through post-closing / endorsement. B. Appraiser and property requirements for Title II forward and reverse mortgages. 3. Acceptable appraisal reporting forms and protocols. F. Land subsidence and sinkholes. 1. Definition. Land subsidence refers to the lowering of the land surface elevation from changes that take place underground, including damage caused by sinkholes. 2. Standard. Danger of land subsidence may be encountered where buildings are constructed on uncontrolled fill or unsuitable soil containing foreign matter such as a high percentage of organic material, areas of mining activity, or extraction of subsurface minerals, or where the subsoil or subsurface is unstable and subject to slippage or expansion. Typical signs include fissures or cracks in the terrain, damaged foundations, sinkholes, or settlement problems. 3. Required analysis and reporting. The appraiser must notify the mortgagee of the deficiency of MPR or MPS if there is a probable or imminent danger of land subsidence, so that the mortgagee can determine eligibility or the need to require the purchase of subsidence insurance. The appraiser must analyze and report any readily observable conditions of the subsurface or the surface of the land that indicate potential problems from subsidence or potential for lack of support for the surface of the land or building foundations. In mining areas, the appraiser must analyze and report the depth or extent of mining operations and the site of operating or abandoned shafts or tunnels to determine if the danger is imminent, probable, or negligible. G. Oil or gas wells. 1. Operating or proposed. The appraiser must examine the site for the existence of any readily observable evidence of an oil or gas well and report the distance from the dwelling. The appraiser must notify the mortgagee of the deficiency of MPR or MPS if the dwelling is located within 75 feet of an operating or proposed well. The distance is measured from the dwelling to the site boundary, not to the actual well site. 2. Abandoned. If the appraiser notes an abandoned gas or oil well on the subject site or an adjacent property, the appraiser must stop work and notify the mortgagee. Page 27. The appraiser may resume work when the mortgagee provides a letter from local jurisdiction or the appropriate state agency stating that the subject well was permanently abandoned in a safe manner. The appraiser may only complete the appraisal on a property located near a gas well that emits hydrogen sulfide if the minimum clearance has been established by a petroleum engineer. The appraiser must assess any impact that the location of the well has on the value and marketability of the property. Hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide gas emitted from petroleum product wells is toxic and extremely hazardous. Minimum clearance from sour gas wells may be established only after a petroleum engineer has assessed the risk and state authorities have concurred on clearance recommendations for petroleum industry regulation and for public health and safety. The appraiser may only complete an appraisal on a property if the mortgagee has required an inspection by a qualified person and provided evidence that the minimum clearance has been established. H. Slush pits. 1. Definition. A slush pit refers to a basin in which drilling mud is mixed and circulated during drilling to lubricate and cool the drill bit and to flush away rock cuttings. 2. Required analysis and reporting. If the property has a slush pit, the appraiser must make the appraisal subject to the removal of all unstable and toxic materials and the site made safe. Property eligibility in special flood hazard areas. The appraiser must review the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Flood Insurance Rate Map, FIRM, and make appropriate notations on the applicable appraisal reporting form. If the property appears to be located within a special flood hazard area, SFHA, the appraiser must attach a copy of the flood map panel to the appraisal report. The appraiser must enter the FEMA zone designation on the reporting form and identify the map panel number and map date. If the property is not shown on any map, the appraiser must enter not mapped. The appraiser must quantify the effect on value, if any, for properties situated within a designated SFHA.